Hello students. As we know, we have discussed about the types of novels, and till date we have gone through the types of novel that we find are extremely popular as the classics of English literature. And in the sense, if we think from the points of view of the popularity of the fiction, we have seen the picaresque type of novels are more interesting. And stylistically speaking, as per styles of the novel or narration, we have seen there is one more very interesting type of novels. And these novels are called as stream of consciousness novel, or it's an enigma to think about and to identify the types of novels that we see in the form of psychological novels. So, both these terms or types of novels are often confused, but there is a slight difference in these two types of novels. But as we go about in understanding the types of novels, we must understand what does it mean by psychology. As we know, it's a very interesting phenomenon that emerged in the 19th century when William James, who wrote The Principles of Psychology in 1886, and along with his brother Henry James, psychology is, is looked in as an interesting part of the human mind. But later on, as we go and found that Sigmund Freud, who contributed a great deal to evolve his own theory and to project psychology as a branch of study. Psychology stands for, or we can define as the study of human minds or behavior. सो मानवी स्वभावाचा अभ्यास म्हणजे आपण त्याला मानसशास्त्र असं म्हणतो. आणि तेव्हापासून आजपर्यंत अनेक प्रकारच्या सायकोलॉजिकल दृष्टिकोनातून so many researchers have taken place, no doubt. Sigmund Freud proved that human mind is structured. Human mind is made of three important aspects that drives the psychology. It consists of ID, ego, and superego, and there are the basics to this theory. So how this ID form gets developed? It is very primitive in the sense he called it. It is the animating drives. It is in every human being, and it is very primitive in the sense it is natural to have as basic instincts as we have. So ID stands for the identity. Then we have ego. Ego stands for it's this relation of his mind, his soul, with the other aspects, the social aspects, and he tries to establish on his own. So ego and superego. This is also one of the type of says part his theory that he propounded. And here we see he looks from the perspective of the moral code of conduct, the society around which. So he is taking care of all this, but there is the animating force that is ID, and it is in every, say, human being. It is at the base of the human psychology. So, human psychology or human mind is made of these three important, say, drives in the human, say, soul. So, in the same way, Sigmund Freud, along with his disciples like um, Jung, okay, and this Jung is also one of the psychologists who propounded the collective unconscious theory. So it is all that we see. But as we have seen, since then psychology has been adopted. The characters have been presented psychologically. The character's mind, flow, his perceptions, memoirs, thoughts, and feelings are in the kind of a waking mind, and it has since been adopted to describe a method in modern fiction. As we have seen, this unbroken flow of passions, emotions, and feelings continuously goes on. The character is introspecting inside his own mind, and all these facets are presented in the characters. So, William James, in his Principles of Psychology, has presented these things. So, it's a stream of feelings. In a stream of consciousness, we have stream of feelings. It is presented as an unbroken flow of emotions, and if it is given in the form of characters, so we have long passages of introspection in which the hero or the narrator records every detail that passes through his mind, his awareness. And mostly in the very first beginning, in the 18th century, Samuel Richardson, who wrote Pamela, there are long passages that are presented by Samuel Richardson. Henry James has talked about to many novelists. He presented the the stream of consciousness or psychological point of view. In Portrait of a Lady, Henry James presented is the process of Isabel's mind varying feelings. As early as 1888, there was a minor French writer, Edouard Dudargin, who wrote a very short novel, Les Laures, which represent the scenes and events that are in the mind of the central character. So there is a continuous flow of character and his mental process. As we have seen, this term has been refined since 1920s. Stream of consciousness is a very important term that is applied to the mode of narration, and it undertakes to reproduce the full spectrum and flow of character in which the sense perceptions mingle with conscious in half conscious thoughts and memories. Some critics or some authors or some theorists who use this stream of consciousness with the interchangeable term that is use of interior monologue. It is, however, useful to regard the type of usages. The critics who used the former to include all diverse types of communication by authors. So it is a process, it is a total state or it is a total process of consciousness in which the character reveals himself or herself. Interior monologue is then reserved for that species of stream of consciousness which undertakes to present the reader the course and rhythm at the same time of the consciousness in that occurs in the character's mind. As we have seen the interior monologue, the author is keeping himself apart or herself apart. The characters are made to evolve his or her own self through her mind, through her perceptions. The author doesn't intervene to comment, to describe, or to guide, but he let the character evolve, come out. The whole process should go into using such sentences. It may be logical, it may be illogical, but this type of interior monologue is sometimes used to make the presentation of the character, sense, perceptions, feelings, and images. It is clear that the author can present these elements only by converting them into some sort of verbal equivalent. So, this conversion is a matter of things. As we have seen, we will go into that. So, the examples that we see, James Joyce's variety of stream of consciousness Ulysses, Dorothy Richardson's pilgrimage, Virginia Woolf's Mrs. Dalloway, and To the Lighthouse. So, these novels are presented in the psychological or stream of consciousness way. See, it is up to us to find out what are the passages, what are the mental development of the characters that are going on. So, there are the characters that are presented in such a way. So, we have very good examples in Ulysses. As this novel goes on, the character Bloom, Leopold Bloom, who is moving through Dublin and observing, musing. So, we are bound to move with his character, with his personality, with his emotions. And this Dorothy Richardson used also this mode of narration, which is mostly focused exclusively on the mind and perceptions of her heroine. So, there are 12 volumes of the novel, that is Pilgrimage, and Virginia Woolf also used this as a predominant narration in this way. So, we have other example, that is very good example, Sound and Fury by William Faulkner in this regard. So, if we had to go into the proper appreciation of the psychological novel, we can go into that and find out more in this regard. So, it will be helpful for us to communicate and to find out these things. Okay. See. So, I hope we will go through these things. For better and for more clarification regarding these two books on this particular term, stream of consciousness novel or psychological novel, these two books will help you a great deal. So, in this way, we come to the end of this short term, that is type of novel, and the type of novel that we see, a stream of consciousness novel.